Good morning on this rainy Wednesday morning. Hello, everyone.
Morning.
Welcome. All right. I'll go ahead and call the Economic Development Commission meeting to order. It's 8:02. Let's go ahead and do roll call. Gary Skiba.
Here,
Did I say that right, Gary?
here, yeah, you did.
Okay, thank you. I'm here. Joelle Gibson. Saw her for a second. Do you see her online?
Yes, she's online.
Okay, did she raise her hand or anything?
No, Joelle, can you hear us okay? She always has trouble.
Am I allowed to count her if she doesn't?
Connection.
I think we can see her, right?
I have never tried. Yeah, I'm just hoping she can hear us.
Okay.
Joelle? Can you see anything on your end, Andrew? Unmuted.
Is she, can you see a picture? Thumbs up, Joelle. Okay. She's probably, okay.
Joelle, if you can
All right,
hear
I'll
us,
keep
can
going.
you raise your hand?
I'll keep going and we'll circle back. We know she's there in spirit nonetheless. All right, Adrian Webb is not here yet. Nicole Pa,
Here.
Paula Shively,
Here.
and Nick Postiglione. All right, not here. So, okay. All right. Hopefully everyone had the opportunity to review the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve agenda, please?
I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes. All right, public comment.
Nobody's here.
Anybody online or
Early.
nobody here? Okay.
Joelle says she can't hear anything.
Okay. All right. So do we have someone troubleshooting with her or do you want us to wait?
Is there, what button should I
Probably
click?
her
Andrew?
thing.
I know. Okay.
Maybe
And
she
your
can reboot
IT,
her
you can do
computer. If you guys
everything.
can troubleshoot, we'll just continue on.
our best work.
All right, again, we have the minutes from the Snoqualmie North Bend meeting that was last February. I was talking with Mona, we do need January minutes, but that's going to be in the next packet. So for now, we're just going to do the February minutes. So I need a motion to approve the minutes for the joint meeting on February 18th.
I'll motion to approve the minutes from February 18th.
All right, can I have a second, please?
Second.
All right, thank you. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes for February 18th, 2026. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes. All right, liaison reports. I look at you.
Good morning. I'm Nicole Weeby, Community Liaison. I think the biggest thing in my world, I'm just going to tell you, is that since November, I've been doing two roles. I've been doing my role as Community Liaison and then the communications role. And last week we had a person begin. His name is Scott Herter in the communications role. So that was a huge void, and so I'm really glad that he's here. So now I can put most of my attention back to what I'm supposed to do, which is events, outreach, and supporting small business economic development. So doing that, and spring, despite the weather, is here, and we've got some egg hunts coming. So I'm just turning my attention to that. We're looking to have more opportunities for events and community outreach in the community. The mayor, that's one of his goals. He's also he's done one coffee with the mayor. He wants to do those more. We had our first town hall 2 weeks ago. The topic was the flood in December. And our goal is to do 2 to 3 more town halls this year. Each one of them will have a focus. So we're just looking for more opportunities to be able to be out in the community and have that outreach and that two-way dialogue. And so I'll be assisting him with those things as well.
Oh, great. Does the city council do roundtables as well or have office hours or anything with the community or have? It's okay if they don't. But
Yeah, no, they don't. And I don't know if that's a goal. Sometimes in the past, there have been things that have been driven, but maybe we'll get there. I don't know.
Just wondering.
Yeah.
Please.
Is the coffee with the mayor one-time event or will that be happening?
No, he hopes to do them monthly. It's been a very busy start to the new year and new transition. And a lot of things. So he's done one. We did it downtown, and his goal is to rotate downtown the Ridge,
Very
and
cool.
also explore different days and times. Like maybe it's not coffee, maybe it's ice cream, maybe it's a Saturday. So he wants to try to, again, meet people where they're at. So we'll be looking, so the next one will be up on the Ridge. I had to change the date. I don't remember what it is, but working on that.
Great, thank you.
Are there any updates on Ridge businesses?
Off the top of my head, more coffee this morning. So we know that the pharmacy is under construction in Safeway. There's that. On Center Boulevard, there is a few vacancies, but I don't think we have anything that we know, like the old Infusion. Do we know anything about that one?
I know that he's signed his lease. Has he submitted a
submitted
permit?
it
Okay, so
Yeah.
he has a permit in, so
Okay.
that's good.
So
We
who
did
is
lose the
he?
dry clean.
Are we allowed?
Do
Who
we
is,
say
who is
name?
he? Are you allowed to say? I guess it's public record.
Do you
What space
remember?
are we
Oh,
talking?
I think we're
We're
talking
talking about the Infusion space.
Oh,
That's the sports, the sports simulation.
Yeah.
They're gonna do
Yeah.
sports.
that, so that's a
simulation.
for sure thing. They, yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh,
at
good.
the-
good,
At
yeah.
Infusion, Brian Rutke, I
Okay,
believe is
I'm
his
not sure.
name,
I just meant the
but-
company, not the actual
Yeah.
person. Like,
Oh,
oh, it was the
okay.
same one. I
I think
wasn't
it's an
sure, yeah.
independent business. I don't think it's a franchise of
No,
any sort.
The
exciting.
dry cleaners is having a personal trainer move in.
Yes, the dry cleaners is
Yes,
gone.
personal training company. I've talked to him. He's, I think, still working on some dynamics before he submits a permit.
And then used to be the dog spa next to the Healing Garden location, and I believe that will be some sort of physical
Fitness.
fitness thing. So we're getting a lot of physical
Oh,
fitness,
the rich
and
people can be
what about the peak?
Bartels?
Sorry.
nothing on the Bartels yet. Not right, Mona. I haven't heard anything.
No,
Have you heard anything?
nothing
Yeah.
yet.
What about the peak performance space? Is that empty now?
I believe it is.
Yes, I haven't heard anything on that one. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Might be a good time for me to introduce Ashley. She's our permit and planning technician. She's been with us since last June, and now she's been promoted to take the minutes for the EDC meeting.
I'd ask.
And so she's wearing many hats as well. I feel like a lot of us could say that, but Ashley is the brains behind all the permitting. So I just thought I should introduce you since I'm asking you all the questions.
Hello, welcome.
Can I,
Welcome.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
sorry, Paula, did you have something?
No, I just said welcome to.
Yeah,
Ashland.
nice to meet you. This may not be the spot to ask this question and I can be directed. Personal agenda, but also a question that came from another company that was visiting with me. The simplest way I can position this is a CO2 extraction environmental device we may be putting into our building. And the purpose of it is to pull CO2 out of the atmosphere. Do I go to you? Where does someone go with the city with that? Does that start with you?
Yeah, you can start with me. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I haven't dealt with something like that.
Okay.
But we can chat and
Okay.
I'll get more information.
I
from
just want,
you.
they were asking me and I said, well, I'm coming here this week and I try to find out.
Yeah, we can chat after the meeting.
Perfect.
And I'll get more information.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Any other liaison reports?
Do you want to run through the downtown businesses like Wit and Company?
Sure, I can just, yeah, thank you. I can do a little bit of an update.
Better than I
feel-
do.
If I've said this before, stop me, but so what used to be Down to Earth, somebody bought the Down to Earth business and they're just a little bit further down on Railroad. She has a floral background. She is going to do weddings and bigger things. Down to Earth had scaled down after COVID, but she's scaling it back up. So I feel as if we got a business and a half with that switchover. So then Alice has reopened in the same location. Her family owns that building and it's Wit & Co. So it's gifts and plants. Then Jana, who owns Mini Treehouse, has now moved from her location on Falls to Railroad. And she is really the only clothing store for children I would say, in the Valley. So it's resale, upscale, and also she has new clothing for children and she has women. So she's going to be expanding that. Toys and gifts, a blend of both new and upscale resale. And so her location on, next to the brewery, she's talked about this publicly, hasn't she, Mona? I mean,
I think so.
yeah, she's going to be doing a coffee shop and used books, predominantly, I think, children's used books, but she'll have different seating, and then they're going to maximize the outdoor space that they have when the weather's good, and then their deck. So there'll be a lot of workspace and seating for that coffee. We've got the arcade coming that's in the building behind the brewery. Both of those both of those businesses will be coming to the next planning commission, I think, to talk about some things. So hoping.
Yes.
Um,
Waiting for the arcade.
and then the ice cream, it's a little bit past news, but if it hasn't been discussed here, so ice cream's open on the front. On the back, they have a Falls Avenue cookie. Upstairs, which used to be the photo studio, is called The Library. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really cool. It's event space. And they've been doing really well with that. So if you have a meeting, a party, and you don't want to do it in your home, or your home's too small, it's a great space to go. So it's good to get some event space. think-
Snoqualmie Tribes opened,
Oh,
had a
yes.
grand opening for the Raging River Recovery Center behind
Yep,
us.
and they will serve not just tribe members, but the general public. So that, welcome back to the neighborhood. They used to have a building on Railroad many years ago, so they're back downtown. I think that's it.
What
but-
about can you review the river walk and like what's happening? I don't, are we calling it the river walk? I forget the name. The path that you're building.
The River Walk.
And the overarching plan, just if there's anybody that's newer to the commission, in case they don't know that general plan.
I think I might punt to you, Mona. 'cause I don't wanna-
The River Walk is being managed by Dylan Gamble in our Parks Department. I think it's nearing the final completion stages. They still have a lot of plantings that they'll
I
have
think
to
it's bridge
do.
work that they're working on.
And bridge work right now. So that's about all I know about.
Is
as
it
far as
the full
update.
phase or is there plan to expand it as properties get acquired?
It would, yes, it would be expanded as properties are acquired. And we did acquire one property along Railroad. It's the little blue house that's been boarded up, and I think that's set for demolition this
It
week.
looks like they're starting it
maybe.
this morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I asked
they wanna
Dylan a
work
couple days ago, and he said
Oh, you're
maybe
right.
this
Yeah,
week.
we're-
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
There was a
an
big
ex-
bulldozer.
yeah, a
That's
big
why I was like,
dumpster.
yes.
Well, thanks for that breaking news.
yeah, you're right. You're welcome.
I don't come in that way, so I missed that. We also have a food truck that opened recently on private property by Snoqualmie Running. Their shawarma is operating under a 180-day TUP, essentially, so temporary use permit.
Hmm.
So we'll see how that goes.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Mona, just curious, really, because that did come up in the last meeting about the
Yeah.
food truck.
Mhm.
Does the city have a policy on food trucks?
We don't. So, we had to kind of go through, our codes need a little bit of updating, but so how we approved this as we went through, it was considered an accessory use
Got it.
to the existing businesses on private property. And then we just issued a TUP, which had conditions associated with it around outdoor seating, having a site plan, having a
Yeah,
business license, health district approval, fire inspection. So,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, thank you for working to try to get to yes. I think that's really to help businesses grow, and I appreciate that,
yes.
that mindset for sure.
Nicole, I'm only asking because I promised a bunch of people to ask every
Yeah.
time we have a meeting.
No, that's.
And I know, I don't believe this is the city's responsibility, but I know you have influence. Is there any movement, any discussion that's evolving, started around merchant meetings that involve everybody?
Have not had those conversations. I need to sync up with the downtown merchants. I mean, we always invite a representative from the downtown merchants to attend the Ridge meetings, vice versa. And we have done some joint meetings in the past. But I can talk with them, and I mean, I can even schedule that if there is that interest, and we can get some more people around the table.
The comment, I think you've heard this because I'll attend the Ridge
Right.
merchant meetings when I can. Yesterday, two businesses up on the Ridge were approached about the SIP Fest.
Oh, really? Okay.
And what's interesting is my calendar's full for this year. And I
Yeah.
can't I can't participate. So this is the kind of thing that I think is getting missed. And this is not directed at you. It's like
Right.
why the value would be there, because I think, I've got to believe the SIP, unless is that a city event?
No, it's not. It's a
I didn't think
Rotary-
so.
It's a Rotary event that fills out a special event permit. So
Okay.
it's a private event, and we have their permit. It's an annual event. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we put, conditions around it to make it a legally operating
Sure.
event.
Yeah.
And trying always, like an event like that, always trying to work with them to make their presence in the downtown helpful, not a hindrance. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think you can see why I personally, just speaking for our company, there's real value in that communication and what have you, if it can be done. And it's not happened yet, but it would be nice if it could. I don't know how to achieve it, but
Maybe there's, when they get the permits and stuff, how much time is that before you know when the date is there? people.
I know the date. I mean, they've turned in a permit, but it's not being routed quite yet. They need to get some more materials
Okay.
in, but I do know the date. And I've been trying to, if there's big events in town, put it on the Visit Snoqualmie City Calendar website so that it's kind of a landing page for different events so people can plan. Because that event also comes in July. I think, I can't remember the date, but
I
like we
can
have,
tell you, it's the week.
thank you, Gary. Is it
It's
the
the 11th.
19th
Well,
or the 11th?
it's the 11th
Okay.
of July.
It typically happens the same weekend that we have, like usually the Train Museum will do 3 Thomas events,
Mm.
but Thomas is during the day and then Sip Fest is at night. July is a very, very busy summer for events. I mean, Gary, you have your event. I worked with Mary. I did put it on the city calendar.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes if I know better, I can do better. If I'm given the information, I'll put it on the website. But if I don't know anything about, like your event is, it happens on private property, so therefore I don't have to issue a permit for it.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah, I just believe it's something I would want to participate in. And I think something like SIP Fest, which is marketed out there as a city event and bring everybody, come on in. It's see Snoqualmie.
yeah.
It doesn't allow me to participate. I just would not be able to even plan around that right
Yeah.
now.
I
Just
would
be-
have to say it's not an event that I coordinate, so they would need to contact with the businesses in
Yeah.
town, like that's on the Rotary. It's a Rotary event, so that onus would be on them.
Could that be part of, like I don't want to say a requirement, but like you should go do, notification of
We
businesses that you're
sometimes,
doing this. yeah?
depending on the impacts of the event, we'll have a condition that says like, you must do a neighborhood notification.
Yeah.
Let people know that. So, I mean, I can definitely, like they know when this event is every year, so I can pass that on. Like if you want to have some more robust participation with people in the community, I mean, we all need to plan, right? We all need to plan
Yeah,
out our
yeah.
year. So
Well, for reasons you described, summer's really busy.
totally.
And, the woman who reached out to me, basically I had to say no because it's a week before we bring in almost 80
Lagerfest.
breweries and there's just so much going on. I don't have the staff to contribute to it. And, but if I knew probably last fall, we could have made some
Yeah.
adjustments and things.
You're actually making me think of something that I should announce here. It's been discussed in other public meetings, and that is some future construction that's going to be happening with the railroad. So if you had been in North Bend, they recently did some construction down on the arms that come down. And I don't want to speak for the Train Museum and get it all wrong, but it's some grant work that they're doing, working with the city. So they are now moving that work down to here to Snoqualmie. So the intersection here at King Street will be closed while they do some of that work. Those detours are going to be very manageable, downtown. It's going to be fine. There is going to be a closure that's going to be impactful for the community, and we don't know the date yet because we are waiting for WashDOT. But the grant money that is tied to that event or to that work has to be done. I think it's by September. I don't know if it's the beginning of September, the end of September, but there will be a 3-day full closure at the Parkway. So the city staff, our engineering, are working with WashDOT and kind of saying like, here's a couple, like Boeing Classic, for instance, like,
Please avoid.
yeah. So, but we don't have a date yet, but there will be a full closure, and we will be working internally as a city to do some external communication, whether it's reader board, signage. So people will have to go around. So that,
Do you know where on the
it's
Parkway?
going to be right down at the end of 202 in the Parkway.
So I know Joelle has her hand up, but Joelle, because you switched topics.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just going to reiterate like the advance notification on these events because it even helps the smaller shops that aren't like directly participating because they might be able to do specials or do something themed
Yeah.
in their marketing that can attract that audience. So I think somehow getting these larger event producers to do the neighborhood outreach so that the smaller businesses are aware and they can plan their marketing to take advantage of everybody that comes outside their door and feet that could come into their establishment. All right, Joelle, I heard you have your hand up. I can't see it, but I'm hoping you can hear me.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry about that. I don't know. I'm on my phone right now. I can see you online, but I can't get my audio for whatever reason on my laptop the last week. So I have a couple questions. My apologies if we've already discussed this. I'll just be super brief. Was there an ETA of the pharmacy opening at Safeway? That was number one. Or is there an ETA about the?
We, hi, Joelle, this is
Hi.
Mona. We believe that will be sometime in April.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Fast track, so it should happen pretty quickly.
Okay, and then I wrote down a couple other questions. I know that Nicole was going over like recent business activity or new businesses downtown. Has there been any action or any activity regarding the Woodman?
No, it's been several weeks since I've talked to the realtor there. So no, it's still for sale, but no activity that I'm aware of.
Which property?
Okay,
Woodman,
and then
mustard yellow.
Oh,
building.
got it.
Mhm.
and then I had one more question. We were talking about the food vendor is that on the corner of Railroad and not King and Railroad? What's the other one?
Newton.
Newton. Okay. What is the cost of the street permit for that? Is it a daily use? Is it a weekend use?
Are you talking about the new food truck or are you
The
talking?
food truck. That's what I meant. The food truck, not the
So
food
there's
vendor.
there's no street use. It's on private property. So they're just
Oh, they're
under a
operating on
temporary use
private
permit.
property.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else to report under the liaison reports? Yes, Mona.
Well, nothing to really report, but I did have a question about doing a larger merchant meeting. Is that something that we would try to do during an EDC meeting? Would we try to have a special
Glenn?
meeting?
Can you, Glenn?
Oh, is that Joe? Oh, Joelle's talking to someone else. Mute,
Oh.
Joelle.
Sorry.
I guess I would defer to the businesses. Like, what do you think would be, if you could paint the best merchant meeting as far as how it's set up and what you think the outcomes would be, how would you set it up?
Is it a single meeting only held once ever, or are we talking a
What would
rhythm?
you like? Like, if we
Well, I
could
think
be-
a rhythm would be important. I don't know what the rhythm needs to be.
Okay.
And, sorry, what was
I would
the
say-
rest of that question? It
Oh,
was-
so the merchant meetings, kind of like if you were doing it and you
Right.
wanted to have the best merchant meeting ever, like, how would you design it? How
Well,
would
I
you
think
format it?
Nicole runs a really nice meeting. The
Okay.
one that you do up on the ridge is great. I think it's a simple agenda. It's really direct. You do a little city update. On occasion, you have somebody from the city to speak to something. I think it's a flexible with a probably 2 or 3 bullet thing that's consistently there. I'm guessing, but it's about that.
Gary.
Yeah, but
I always want a nugget. I want you to leave with a
no,
nugget.
I do. I think it's really good. I see it personally. I see it at a minimum. It's a communications forum because, it's unless I'm in Joelle's business and chatting with her, or I see her here. It's not like we're hanging out together all the time. But there's stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably in my mind that's 80% of the value, and then the other 20% is going to be the unique situation that maybe we're all trying to address. And I think it could also be a little bit of a feeder into this process. And I think it doesn't have to be much more complex than that.
All right.
I think that's inherently something that I should facilitate as being kind of the middle person between both groups. And I can also, bring Mona, but I think that's good. We've talked about it. If there's value in it, again, I don't ever want to waste people's time and bring people together. I don't think that would be a waste of time.
Yeah.
I think there would be I love the word you said, like, rhythm and just communication and sharing of ideas. So I will work to get something going because I think there's a lot of good with collaboration and communication, and you guys can all learn from each other or
Mhm.
get more nuggets.
It doesn't get lost on me that I'm not a bureaucratic person. It's probably kind of obvious. It's just sort of like get to the point and what are we going to do? I get it that the downtown here has the historic foundation set up, and that creates, in my mind, if I were that in that team, so to speak, maybe this is an extra layer they don't need, just to be honest. I think from a city perspective, from a collective, it's probably a rich value. Is it twice a year? Is it 4 times a year?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's the part I'm not 100% sure about.
Well, I love that idea because anytime you can strengthen and build relationships between the government and businesses, that way you have your ear to the ground on any issues that might be bubbling up and I can figure out how to tackle it. And I think, Joelle, you had your hand up. I thought I saw something pop up, but now it's gone.
She still has her hand up, but I'm
Okay.
not, she's also
Hi.
muted. Here she
Oh, there
comes.
you are.
Okay, I do think that there's value in having a joint meeting between the Downtown Merchants Association and the Ridge. I think that probably at the most, maybe 2 times a year. I think having too many meetings might be difficult. I mean, it's hard enough to gather people probably at the Downtown Merchants meeting independently and then the Snoqualmie Ridge Merchants Association independently. So I think maybe if we did a joint meeting possibly 2 times a year, just to be, collaborative and listen, I think that would be a good
Thinking-
amount of meetings.
May, like before we hit into the summer. So
Yeah.
So you have 2 meetings a month, one up on the ridge and one down
Yeah.
here.
Correct.
Maybe you have joint meetings twice a year where, everybody in downtown goes to the ridge meeting, a special meeting, and vice versa. So
And then
that
don't have
everybody
those
on,
individual meetings, those
that's what
months.
I'm.
uh,
And
Ridge
what-
maybe in lieu of the Ridge meeting, maybe we do this one. Just yeah. to help
And what I would like to see is possibly, Mona, maybe getting that invite out to the commissioners so that we can go and listen. And is that what we're saying? Like joint and then the commissioners go attend as well? Because I think that there's value in that. Trying to at least attend a couple merchant meetings downtown or on the ridge as commissioners.
yeah, I mean, we certainly could issue a notice of quorum and invite the commissioners to the merchant meetings. So we can work on that.
Okay, that would be great.
All right. Okay.
I have one, not sure where this fits in our process, but it's got to be an economics issue. I was unfortunate, might be the word, to have attended the Jupiter meeting at the Snoqualmie Club last
I was
night.
going to bring that up too.
Oh, is there a
No, no.
spot we're doing that?
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'll just speak for myself. I was a little shocked at the lack of information about this meeting. I know a postcard went out in the mail. I certainly got it. I would say the postcard, you could, after attending this thing, probably everybody knows what happened. The thing blew up. And I know it's a county property project, but it's right next door to the city. And for those who know where it's located, it's right next door to where I have millions of dollars invested, not counting my house. And selfishly, I'm like, wow, this is kind of a big deal. And I don't know enough about it to know how big of a big deal it is. And it was clearly a big deal with the audience there. I'm not saying anything was amiss there, but I'm not sure how, I mean, as a city, I don't know how that gets handled. It's over on the county, therefore, not my problem. I don't know. But it was a little surprising the way it went down last night. And I was there 10 minutes and I knew it was a waste of my time at that point. As it was, because the person, I don't know who the person was, but the gentleman who seemed to be responsible for the Jupiter meeting, I'm going to assume was with Jupiter, just cancel it because he didn't want to deal with what was going on there. And I'm not sure I blamed him because it was a little out of control, I thought. But can I leave it at that and just ask what's up with that kind of question?
Yeah, I'm happy to address that. So the project is in King County's jurisdiction. the city really has no say in that project. The mayor has directed all inquiries around that to council member Sarah Perry to have her be involved in this project with Jupiter Power. I know that they have submitted an application to King County and it was withdrawn. They're coming back in to do more, I believe they have more testing or something they have to do, and they will be resubmitting, and then there will be a SEPA period. So there will be opportunities for public comment during the SEPA period, which I anticipate that the city will provide a comment. But at this point, it's out of our jurisdiction. And so we are relying on King County and the applicant to host these public meetings and, you know, obtain public input themselves.
Do they have to cross city streets to get to their property?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's also, I would imagine, our fire department that has to respond to it. So here's where I'm going to go is, and I'm not directing how things should, I'm not familiar with how these kinds of processes really unfold, just to be honest. But there's a lot of issues there that I think do affect the city. I would think the city as a government, not just the city constituents that live here, have got a vested interest on what does or doesn't happen there. The 10 minutes I was there, I learned about their fire containment, how these batteries are being stored, et cetera, et cetera. And at a minimum, they've got a fire hazard issue. Now, it might be contained. It might be the God's gift to fire containment. I don't know because I don't know anything about the project yet. But if there's a fire over there and it needs containment, I've watched what it takes to put a fire out on a Tesla. This is way bigger than a Tesla. And that's, there's a vested interest the city, I think, has to have in that project, even though it's on county property. Not to mention it's in a forest.
Do they own that piece of property? Do you know?
I believe so. I believe they've purchased it.
Which, I'm sorry to be
Oh, that's
ignorant on this.
That's all right.
Which property are they looking at?
They're
Really close to us.
they're just south of Fisher Park,
Okay.
and it's a 35-acre parcel, kind of near the PSC substation.
Oh,
It's in the unincorporated area of the city, but it is in our urban growth area.
Yeah. It's down the road to the left from where you are,
Mhm.
right next to the glass manufacturing building.
okay.
And it's 25 acres, and I don't know how that big the building is. It's huge. It's a big facility. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad it's come up because I think it's an important thing that we be aware of. It sounds like we're going to be more aware of it with the process I just heard.
Is there any revenue that will come from, okay, putting all that aside, because that's
Yeah.
very valid and concerning, I know. Is there any revenue that is generated from this piece of property that comes to the city?
Not that I'm aware of at this point. I
To
mean,
help support all this?
it is in King County. So if we were to annex it, I believe we'd obtain property taxes, but at this point, I don't think there's any plans to annex it.
Mm.
So,
And that would take some time too.
yes.
The brochure they gave out, I wished I'd have brought it. Now that I'm talking about it, I should have brought what I picked up there. It's the classic, hey, we're going to have 150 construction workers building this thing. The local community will benefit from them being in the community while they're building. There's not going to be a large number of employees. It's a little bit like a computer center because it's, mostly just managing computer equipment and building maintenance kind of things. Otherwise, it's not really a revenue generator for the community. Obviously, it is for the company Jupiter. And then other than that, they have no projects that are operating today. That's the other thing that's a little interesting. I'm like, man, this is a little concerning. And you have 5 projects underway, but you have nothing operating. And the business is only 5 years old. So there's not a long history of experience in this kind. And this is new technology. So, and I'm not against it. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm very neutral on it. I don't even, because I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's it. I think information is power and getting more
Exactly.
information.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw the materials as well. It talks about that temporary influx of economic injection that comes into the construction use, but the number of employees is pretty low and doesn't do our small businesses any favors because it's just like a data center. Like you said, it's not very many people. And what we need up here is people during the day working so that they go to
Right.
our establishments.
Sure.
But I know you don't have any control over that. My feeling, whether this is my own personal feeling, but I think it's an opportunity for leadership of the city to stand up for their residents in somehow form. I know it's taking a back seat to see what the county does, but there's an opportunity there to champion the residents of the city and to see what can be done. And if it's from a safety standard, whether it's from this can be good and this is why, or figuring out a deal that can be made that's beneficial to the city or something like that. I think there's an opportunity if this project's going to go forward no matter what. And I think if folks are concerned, they need to go to the county council meetings. They need to reach out to King County to express their
Yeah.
concerns for sure.
For whatever it's worth, you could pass this on to the mayor and at the council, but knowing that I've had events at the club, each of those banquet rooms are supposed to hold no more than I think about 220 people. They had all three open and they were over capacity and people were outside, had to wait to come in. And I guarantee you, if that's the first meeting they've had up here, which I believe it probably is, there's very large interest and concern because that's what echoed that night, last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just share that with you. I was a little surprised. I thought, I'm usually not surprised.
It ended
That
up
one
on-
I was surprised about.
It ended up on King 5.
Sorry?
It ended up on King 5 this morning.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's
Mhm.
right. There were news people there.
Mhm.
It's almost like they anticipated something interesting happening.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So
thank you
anyway,
for that.
yeah, no,
update,
it's a
and
sharing
I'll
moment at a minimum.
share that with our mayor.
Okay.
Yep, with every challenge, there's an opportunity in
Mhm.
figuring out how Snoqualmie can, as a whole, as a city, benefit if it is going to be up and running. And then also, again, make sure that they're championing their residents and small businesses.
Right.
All right. All right. So thanks for bringing that up. I was going to bring it up if no one else did. So thank you.
Yeah.
That's good. Because I think it's something we had to talk about. It's such a enormous issue in our community. Joelle doesn't have her hand up, right? I can't see her, so I just want to make sure.
I'll keep an eye on her.
Okay, thank you,
No,
thank
her hand isn't up at the moment.
All right, well, let's move on to new business. I think we all got a recap of the joint EDC meeting with the city of North Bend. I think our next steps, as I'm looking at the minutes, says staff will revise meeting minutes and share with the greater group to evaluate next steps in each EDC. So,
I don't know if it makes a difference, but the date on here is incorrect. It was in February, not today.
yeah. That is true.
Oh, you're right. That
February,
was on
March.
Same day, wrong month.
Thank
All right,
you.
we'll amend the agenda. Do I need to do a motion to amend the agenda and vote it? Okay. We'll amend that agenda there. All right.
We'll correct that.
All right. Any thoughts? You want me just to go into that, or Mona, do you have a recap or anything that you, from the city's perspective?
No, I was very appreciative of the city of North Bend putting together the minutes. So Nicole and I did a brief overview of them and added a little bit, but I would just say it would be good to just kind of debrief and download and figure out next steps.
All right.
Can I ask, I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, can I ask, during that meeting, and I thought it was a great meeting. I thought it was
Mhm.
really rich and things came together and so forth. I don't recall how I heard about it, but I heard that the city of Snoqualmie, Mona, and you might be in the middle of this, is we have some motions already moving on this, on using this kind of information, or you can tell I don't fully know what I'm talking about here, right? I believe it was from somebody from the city. It could have been you. I'm sorry. I just don't recall because there was a lot going on, that we've got, as a city, some things in motion that are coming up this spring with either a future meeting with a private group that we're looking to work with as a city, or something, a consulting group?
Oh, I think
Is it
you might
related
mean-
to this?
I think you're meaning the creative economy.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's.
Yeah, so Mona and I met with James and Caitlin last week. So we're sharing resources. We both cities received Port of Seattle grant funding. So we're working rapidly to settle on a consultant to do
Okay.
the evaluation of getting stakeholders together, all this stuff, like what would a creative economy with these two cities, what would that look like? And so we're working towards that because that work has to be done probably no later than November, that we would be submitting, the report, the grant report to the port and receiving reimbursement. So we're working fast on.
So that's structure, and that's great. That helps me a lot, because I wasn't
Mhm.
sure what the what was. So
Yeah.
you're pulling together is it fair to say sort of a structured?
We need to pull together a group of stakeholders or a steering committee of people, like we'll just say like art or creative economy, what would that look like with both cities? Like if you were in one city and went to the other, is there like a continual theme? Do we have the same like artistic bike racks in both cities? Like I'm
Got
just using that as an example. Or is there materials where marketing materials where we're saying you need to come to Snoqualmie and North Bend because we have a great wine and beer craft industry, so because art is a big spectrum of of what it is. So we're going to work with this group for them to identify what that is. Like if we've all traveled, I think we've all been to different cities where you drive through city A and you don't feel that they have one bit of art in their community. Then you can drive into another community and it hits you, like, oh, this community, they value art and the artistic community and different things. So we're trying to figure out what does that look like for us with both cities, and that they complement one another so that we're working together, not opposing each other.
That's great. I think that's all really good stuff. Question, because the first time I heard the term creative economy
Yeah.
was 2 meetings ago in at Centennial Park. And I made a comment that I thought was a very clever, line. It sounds to me that's sticking, that reference point, that term.
Creative economy.
Yeah.
It is a what's the word I'm looking for? It's an overreaching brand or name or group for other different cities or communities. So it's a thing.
Oh, is it used out in the country
Yes,
everywhere?
like Bellevue they set up a creative
Didn't know that.
economy. Other cities have set up creative economies. So
Okay.
it's
so
a thing, and we're
it's not a
tapping that
new
thing.
phase.
No,
or
we did
new
not come up
piece
with
of
it.
lingo or
No,
something.
I wish we did, but we did not.
So my only comment on that, and this is very in the weeds, I get it, but nobody could give me a definition for what that meant. And I'm
Did I do
being-
an
coming
okay
from the-
job to clear?
well, yeah, coming from a corporate space where
Yeah.
when you start putting mission labels on things, you gotta be
Mm-hmm.
careful on what that mission label is really defined as.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I'm not even being negative on it, but
Yeah.
I think I asked a couple of questions in that meeting, like, well, were we talking about just focusing on art? Because it's easy to go creative art because they're both almost synonymous of each other,
Right.
as opposed to creative manufacturing. You see where I'm going with that point. And I'm not trying to direct it. I'm just saying sometimes those things, those one-liners can start sending things in a direction is all I'm commenting. And
Mhm.
it's not that I know what are the best directions, because I don't. This is great dialogue, and I think it's going to be a rich experience. So anyway, that's really my comment about that, because I still am not sure. I didn't know that was a commonly used term out there in cities and
In
things like
the
that.
economic development world, yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
I'm not sure I would use that term in business, because I have really creative people. I have very linear people, and they're like, what do you mean creative? So it's just a comment.
Oh, Joelle has her hand up.
Oh,
just so you
Joelle,
know.
yes.
Joelle?
Hi. Okay, in regards to arts, in the city, where do we stand on reactivating the mural projects that had started and then got put on hold due to funding constraints? Because I think that would be something amazing to continue. The two businesses, well, mine being one of them, on the corner of King and Railroad. And then the other one, I think that went almost, I don't know, Nicole, we could speak on that more, with the Bindlestick wall, to have mural installments on those two walls. And then the funding got I mean, we were as far as, getting contract, like through legal, with the landlords to have these mural installations. I think it was super exciting, and then it got put on hold. So
Yeah.
where is that in
Yeah,
any
and
of
the
this?
mural is a good example actually of what these two cities could do that could be blended into a creative economy. So the mural agreement was put on hold for budgetary reasons, and now it's kind of on a perm hold for legal capacity reasons. And what I mean is, if there's any funding that comes from the Arts Commission, that's where the holdup is. Now, if a private property wanted to do a mural, which I've had recent conversations with the Bindlestick, and that would be a process between myself and Mona, is conversations and work that we would welcome, and we would work with those business owners to do it. So like.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we can still continue that project independently then, so it wouldn't be part of
Independently
the
as a
city.
business Yes, if a business owner wants to put a mural on the building, then yes, it just becomes a process with the planning commission and design review, but it's not, it's something that we want to see happen, but we're kind of having to pivot from having it be a function or a funding mechanism from the Arts Commission to a private property.
Okay, thank you for that.
What was it originally funded by grants?
That was the hope, that we
Okay,
would do it through the
and
Arts
that, you said
Commission.
legally, so it's actually it's financial too.
When the city is, and again, I'm not an attorney, but when the city is using funding for something on private property, then we would have to have an agreement. It would have to be an easement. And
Mhm.
so it
Got it.
became,
Okay.
it just became more. And then right now we've got a pause on that. So
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay.
I don't know if it matters, but Adrian was at that meeting in North Bend.
Yes, he was. Yep. Can we amend the North Bend minutes to reflect that Adrian was there?
Does it say he was not there? I thought.
No, it doesn't say he's there or not. Sure.
So Nicole,
Yeah.
back to the creative economy next steps, I guess.
Hmm.
What's that timeline look like? Does it even have a framework? Like what?
it does have a framework. So right now we need to work with North Bend to settle on the consultant. So I think they're kind of leading the charge for Mona and I, just because we're both a little bit understaffed.
Mhm.
So I think that there's two consultants that they're waiting to get the proposals. So then once we land on the one person, we have a backup plan. If we didn't land with that, then we would do the work ourselves. So we would decide on that consultant, and then we would start doing probably the meetings and the outreach with stakeholders, surveying people, taking an analysis and inventory of what do we have in both communities. So just kind of trying to figure those things out.
Okay.
But the end goal is we would need to have something by November, or at least something fairly solid that both cities could then pick up and begin to run with.
Gotcha. I tend to like to tie things together that I think are connected. We talked earlier about the merchants getting together. I think this project is another reason why the merchants need to get together. I can't disclose something that I'm in the middle of right now because it's not done, but I'm about to commit some money to an event that I think that will benefit North Bend and Snoqualmie. This is in the process of happening.
The event or the creative economy, or both?
The creative economy.
Uh-huh.
And it gives me some pause because
Gives you pause on your project?
for sure.
Okay.
Not because it's a bad thing. I think this is all good stuff. So it gives me pause because resources are limited. I don't care what project you're talking about. There's always a limit to things, and time is short. So I recognize the things that I don't have available to me at all times. I think that's another big reason why it'd be good for the conversations, because what I see, and I could be wrong on this, Nicole, or to the city and to our group, is that I think this could be very powerful and very added value to the area. I really do, this creative economy approach. It needs to include everybody
Right.
at the end of the day. And I hear you saying that, by the way. It's not like I feel like it's not being said. But at the same time, we've already heard people's times are limited. I can't meet 6 times a year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We might want to find some way to make that streamlined a little bit as this moves forward, because I think this is a creative economy strategy. Whoever even came up with the idea of bringing the cities together, brilliant. I think it's brilliant. Because you have a limited resource community here with a lot of value, and tapping into it and doing it in a way that everybody gets a rising tide out of is a really healthy way to approach it. And so anyway, I just throw that.
I want to ask Paula, do you have any feedback on the joint commission meeting? I want to make sure you have an opportunity, both of you and Nicole next, yeah.
I enjoyed it. There's always more to discuss. I think it was pretty broad.
Yeah.
The North Bend's top priorities, Snoqualmie's top priorities, a lot of them were similar. But when we went into the breakout groups, I'm not sure we approached exactly what we were looking for, if that makes any sense. And I think there's a lot more that could be discussed, but there were some great ideas or thoughts. I'd say thoughts. There were great thoughts that came out of that. So,
And I think when you're looking at, and I'm just going to adding to it, and then we'll go to you next, but I think there was a lot of ideas and thoughts, like you said. And then when you look at from a city infrastructure point of view, it touches different departments, right? So like beautification would be maintenance and parks, and it's quite broad, everything that we want to do. And I think there's a lot of coordination, I suppose, that would have to happen internally. And I imagine there's also probably some low-hanging fruits, things the city already has as a priority that could be attached to some of these like wish, because I feel like this is kind of like, wouldn't it be great if we could do all this? And I know like from our group, we were talking about an aquatic center and childcare, and there's so many big
yeah.
things that aren't easily tackled in a short period of time. But I think there's probably low hanging fruit of things that maybe already are happening, and maybe it can just be spun or point at the direction to where, the group thinks that we need to be. And then some long-term things, which will require more strategy and like tactics to get there.
Well, and it's pretty surface stuff. Not enough time in one meeting to get into any details. And in my head, I keep going back to, it's not our responsibility as economic development commissions to tackle those details.
Yeah.
But it's hard to make recommendations to a city if you're not looking at some of the details. So
Fair.
I just feel like it was valuable. We need to keep doing it maybe and dig deeper, not start over at each time we do it.
Would it be helpful? And I always hate to put work on staff because they are doing many jobs singularly. I mean, you guys handle a lot of different things. But on a very broad stroke, would it be helpful? And if it's not, you tell me if it's not. But if we broke down this whole like wish list thing and figured out what the city's currently doing, like, is there anything that matches this kind of thing? Does that make sense? Like the activities that the cities already have? Or like or maybe at the very least, low hanging fruit.
Well,
Like what things that can we be like, oh, we're already kind of doing that. We can.
Like the river walk for beautification, that
Yeah,
aligns
yeah.
perfectly. So it's an example of how that's already happened.
I know
Are you
Mona's
thi-
looking at me like, what?
Are you suggesting like a traffic light approach to what's on here? Like things that are green are moving forward or done?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
things that are yellow or, well, we still need to sort out the details. And red is, we're not doing that.
Yeah. Or it's like so far out, we can't even like.
Or it's not even worth
Yeah.
digging into today
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
It might be, it's funny, I have read this, but I don't remember it all because it's quite a bit of content. Just the mountain town thing, which I was involved in the meeting, I talked quite a bit about that. I don't know what the action items could really unfold out of that, specifically for the city of Snoqualmie, and maybe that does add value for us to give ideas. I think back to the creative economy strategy, this needs to feed into that. It appears to me to make it something that's executable.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm sitting here agreeing with what you're saying. It might not be a bad idea.
Right, Nicole. thoughts?
Yes,
ideas?
I really enjoyed it. I think it's fun to dream about what could make both of our cities the most amazing places to live, work, and play. And a lot of it personally would benefit me, right? Like I have kids, I would love a pool, of course. I would love affordable childcare and more childcare options. We have a great relationship with our provider right now, but there's a lot of people that struggle to find it. I mean, but on the other hand, what resources does the city have to impact some of those things, right? But the creative economy is a great example of receiving port resources and the funding to then do something, which is really great. So I think that then taking the coordinated approach with the city of North Bend is a really good example of how we can partner and work together. And then in the creative economy, you can consider things like how to bring the mountain town kind of feel in when you are marketing that or creating signage or things. So it can kind of all tie together, but it's hard. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's not something that you all the city can always accomplish right away. Time, resources, and priorities all matter and have to factor into that. But I'm excited to see where the creative economy goes and what the consultants say and how we kind of make that a reality.
Great. Kelly Coughlin from the Chamber has joined the meeting and
Hi,
she has her
Kelly.
hand up.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to share with you something that we did in downtown, and we will also be doing it on the Ridge as well. But we held a meeting with all of our business owners and asked them to dream and tell us what their thoughts were and what they needed in downtown. And we also did a survey, and that survey I will bring to you all next time. We've had 25 respondents out of it. Almost every single business has answered it. It is phenomenal to be able to see what their needs and wants are. And I'm hoping that we do the same for the on the Ridge. Well, we will be doing it on the Ridge as well. And then I hope maybe in the future, the city can do something for the residents, but the business owners have a clear way of what they need and want. And I can share with you some of those if you want now, or we can do it next time.
Can you give us a kind of an idea of the content?
Yeah. So we asked they wanted the downtown to look like in 3 years. We asked them what was needed most, what would they participate in events wise, and what's coming out of it is what we thought. But it's just phenomenal because they're coming up with some really good ideas as well. And it is the merchants that are sharing these. It's not anyone else.
What were the ideas?
So they would like to have a curated car show is one of them. But Wi-Fi is the number one so far, is the number one thing that is causing issues for them and that they would like to see changed. More events was also number one. And then the biggest other one was making Falls Avenue lit up. They feel like it's not used correctly, and they want lights back there, and they want it to be they want people to feel like they're welcomed.
Can I ask where Falls Avenue is?
It's behind Railroad where the brewery fronts.
Oh,
That's Falls. Yeah.
Those are good. Those are good. I love the lights on Falls Avenue. I assume that's a city project, I'd imagine. Wi-Fi, and I've heard this before. Is this a long-standing issue on Wi-Fi coverage or?
Oh yeah.
Has been a conversation about needing more Wi-Fi in our downtown, and
Mhm.
we're currently looking into that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Good. All right.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Is
Joelle
there
has
another?
her hand up.
Joelle?
I think it was a Oh, can you hear me better now? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I think it was a fantastic meeting. I attended. I did not attend the joint meeting at Snoqualmie and North Bend. However, I got the screenshots of the boards that were created. And what was exciting to see at the downtown merchants meeting that was held by in conjunction with the city and the chamber is that so many of those priorities, and correct me if I'm wrong, that were brainstormed or visioned at the joint North Bend Snoqualmie meeting were talked about at the Downtown Merchants meeting. So that was kind of exciting to see. It was a great meeting. And I think, I mean, there was more participation at this meeting than I've seen in, gosh, a long time. And so I love that some of the ideas may come to light, like the lights on Falls Avenue. That was really exciting. You know, downtown beautification. There were just lots of ideas thrown out that were also talked about during the joint meeting. So that was really exciting to see, and it was just a fantastic meeting. So really good job to Nicole and Kelly and Mona for coordinating that.
Great, I love that. Love that. Is there any other hands up, or I think we only have two on there? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
We're good.
All right, I guess let the minutes reflect the
I-
mayor
I
has
would
joined
just-
us.
I'm gonna break this record after today because I've probably said it enough. But Joel's comments and then the other comments here about these meetings with Kelly Coughlin's chamber meeting is more evidence of having people come together. I really do. I think it's, if you get into like, if three different groups are getting together saying the same thing, why aren't they together talking about the same thing? Because you're gonna get more value out of the synergy and groupthink than just three different groups trying to do what they think are three different things, yet they're all the same.
Yep, yep. Maximizing resources. Agreed. All right.
I'll catch Kelly up on that conversation after the meeting. Yeah.
All right. Any other new business? All right, moving to the next item on the agenda, the upcoming schedule. Mona, do you want to take the work plan update?
Well, I noticed the work plan update was on here and I'm not sure that I have an update.
I was looking for it. I don't know.
Yes. I was tempted to bring my slide to talk about staffing at this meeting, but we are working hard to try to up our staffing levels here in community development. And so we expect to have an associate planner starting in April. We've recently gone out to advertise for a senior planner. So hopefully we'll be more staffed up to where we can do all the things. So, but I don't have anything really to add to the work plan other than I think today's conversation about the joint meeting was really good. I will go through and see if I can put together something about what we are doing currently. It's always good to hear from the EDC what things they would find important, what they think we need to be focusing on. So that's all I've got for today.
All right. Well, before we move to adjournment, I want to thank you all because I know it's hard work that you do at the city and you are all appreciated. Any other last new business before we adjourn?
I'll just mention one thing, and this is a comment about the creative economy. I heard a comment made more than once in both of the joint meetings about the term stacked activities. I love that term because it speaks to a lot. And as you're doing joint events, I've done a lot of joint ventures with other companies and things like that. You're always looking at, well, what are we both doing and what are we both going to grab onto that benefits and how do they connect, right? I just like that term, and I don't know if it's a term everybody's using. I don't know if it's a city term that's used regularly out there in the government space, but it's clever because it says something. Stacked activities is, hey, if you're doing this over in Snoqualmie, it connects to that over there in North Bend or vice versa. That's just a comment I just wanted to throw out there. So.
I love it. I love it. So getting to yes and stacked activities
Exactly.
are some of the theme words from this meeting. All right. I guess it is. Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry. I missed you, Mr. Mayor.
No problem. I apologize for missing the first hour. We have a few things going on in the city, it turns out today. And I think one of the commissioners spoke about last night's, what's the adjective I want? Interesting presentation. And that I will say, I don't think anyone would disagree with me when I say it met the objectives of no one. And that's really an opportunity missed, and I'm disappointed about it. But uh, uh, this is taking a lot of, this is getting a lot of the attention of our residents, as it should. And so I've been since about 5 a.m. working on response, because I think the city needs to put out some additional thoughts on this and help the residents in dealing with their concerns. And then it turns out the river's rising. So we got to get on top of that. It's the forecasts are for a lot higher than they were just 12 hours ago, let alone 24 hours ago. So we're responding to that in real time and figuring out what we need to do. So yeah, it's lunch. Is it lunchtime yet?
It's been a busy Q1 for you, Mr. Mayor.
It is. Yeah, it's quite a busy first 90 days. We're not even at 90 yet. But I do want to just say, I asked um, Director Davis to put this up on the screen, so I want to make sure that you're aware of this. This is one of the great frustration, not the word I want, but the great challenges that I'm dealing with here, one of them, in trying to deal with. So if you go back to kind of where we were pre-pandemic, we had a 7-person community development department. We were able to do a lot of things in planning in terms of, and we say in Snoqualmie, we call it the community development department. If you go to North Bend, most cities, they actually call it community and economic development. So I kind of think it's very unfortunate that we dropped that, or for whatever reason, historically, we don't have in the department name. But if you go back, we had 7 people dealing with that. Right now we have, if you actually kind of read the colors on the far right, you realize we have 1 person doing all community development, all planning, anything to do with the UGA, things like last night, who at the city can go research things, figure out things, who's doing code enforcement, who's doing economic development planning. It's all her. So guess what? A whole bunch of things. So what she does is, it's like, I sort of think of the spinning plates thing that you see on, right? The people that do keep the plates spinning in more and more space. So she's sort of doing that. And I think the plates are starting to spin slower, and they have been for a while. So we got to get some help. So my big frustration is in economic development. And by the way, what tends to happen is when you prioritize those things, it turns out that the community development stuff tends to become the higher priority than the economic development stuff. And that's exactly what's been happening. So as we think about one of my big goals, which is economic development, by which I mean supporting our businesses, attracting tourism, a lot of the things that you guys are spending time with and spent time with North Bend, the things that Mayor Miller wants to talk about every time we get together, and we get together about every week or two, and the things that is sort of when I go through my top 3 things that I want to get accomplished as a mayor, economic development's in the top 3, and we just don't have the staff to do much right now. So we're moving very quickly. Director Davis made it sound really, we're hiring an associate planner, and now we're going to hire a senior planner. That's a lot of interviewing, it's job descriptions, it's finding it in the budget. So a lot of work to just get us here. So we're bringing people on. That's actually not going to be the end of the story, 5. There's going to be more to that story, because we're going to need an economic development person. Got to find the budget for that, but we will. So I just want to say we really need your leadership, your input as we kind of tee up these issues. Please don't get too frustrated with us in these coming weeks as we bring the staff on to really start doing and supporting you in doing these things, but we need your help as well. So I just wanted to let you know, one of the things I've always worried about my whole time on council is this commission does a lot of work. And the thing we want in return for your work is to get outcomes. And so I'm really focused on helping us get to that. So please help us. Please know we're bringing resources. Be a little bit patient with us, but don't stop with coming up with what we should be doing, how we can do it. Every bit of input you can give us there, and then we'll try and fill in staff to support to get that done. So I just want to say that, and then just ask if you had any questions. Please don't ask me questions about last night because I'm still getting to the answers, other than I'll just tell you clearly, this is something of great concern to our community, and we're absolutely going to lean into to that. That's the concern. My concerns are the same as the concerns of the community, as is the city council's concerns, which means the whole city government's concerns. So we are absolutely leaning into that. So if you want to know, hey, where are you guys at? The answer is we're all in. So in terms of addressing the concerns and getting those concerns addressed before anything happens. So other than that, though, any questions?
No, but I would love to see economic development in that top umbrella. And you noted that economic development was removed at some point. And I think this is just my anecdotal feedback because I've been in that profession for so long. A lot of folks see economic development as businesses only. And I think a good, I don't want to say tagline, but a phrase that describes it is economic development is generating revenue to support the city that is less of a burden on the residents. And I think people don't understand that as much, that when you have economic development, you have money coming into a community, that's less taxes for the residents. And I think that's a good way to describe it to some people, because sometimes they just don't understand that piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. In fact, that's how the city, Snoqualmie, has historically talked about this. You go back to, well, just if you go back to that 19 to 23 period, that we consistently talked about it that way. And I agree with that, and that should be part of there. But I think in Snoqualmie, I think that's even more. I think I believe our residents will support economic development initiatives even if they don't generate revenue. I believe it's core to how this community sees the community. They could live in other communities that don't have the downtown we have, that don't have the feel of this city. They didn't. They chose here. And if you ask them, they talk about that. Now we got to convince them that talking about it should translate into going to the restaurants more, going to the retail more. So we've got to, I think there's room for us to help get them to activate on that instead of just, but they do, they talk consistently about it. And if you listen carefully, like, you go to any small town kind of around the periphery of King County, and they'll talk about their special small town, and it's all true, but the way they talk about it here in Snoqualmie is different. And so I believe that the strength of our business community is something that they think is core to their identity of Snoqualmie and why they're here. And so that makes it even more powerful, I think, in terms of a mandate, if you will, from the residents, that they want us doing things that will make that business community succeed, even if it's not just generating revenue, although pointing out that eases the tax burden is something we should absolutely do, and is absolutely true. But we have a 1-2 here. We have both of those things. So at least that's my perspective.
Yep. That's like, it goes into intentionally recruiting the types of businesses you want to fill the vacant space too, right? As part of the community development component.
That's right. And,
Yep.
and, I think about things that well-run businesses can do to promote themselves. And we see all our businesses, certainly our successful businesses, which is, our businesses doing that. Some of the things, the advertising they do, I think is just brilliant, much of it. But then I think to myself, but there's a role that we can help from the city. So if I'm running my business well, I'm promoting my business well. But, they're not going to come to my business every night. As much as I'd like them to, they're not going to, or every day. So if we can convince them, or not convince them, if we can show them that, well, okay, you may like, this one restaurant, brewery with a food truck out front. There's other places you can go to. So that's not a place the city can say, hey, we actually have 375 restaurants on the Ridge. We don't, but there's a number, and then we say, hey, you can get this kind of food and that kind of food, and you can get this kind of experience and that kind of experience. So I think there's a role we can play as a city to help them. So it's everything from helping get the word out to helping, you can generically say shop local, or you can really try to bring that alive and get folks to really, oh, wait, oh, I forgot about that place. Yeah, I should go there. So there's that. There's attracting the kind of businesses that fill out kind of the package, if you will, so that people sort of see a set. Because the problem is once they leave town to go to something, they tend to do a bunch of things out of town. So if we can keep them here and doing all the things,
The stacked
then we all win.
experiences.
I came in right as you guys were talking about that. So So I think there's a great role for the city. Please help us in doing all that. I'm really, from the mayor's position, I very much believe in the importance of this and really committed to it, and we're leaning into it, and we're just going to be a little behind here for a few more weeks as we kind of staff up and really get engaged. And by the way, the reason economic development is this is a slide that we're actually using to present to City Council. We first presented it Monday night, so this is hot off the press. We haven't presented, that was at a committee. The whole council hasn't even seen this yet, but what I'm telling them is here's what we're doing within the budget you gave us. Then I'm going to have to go back to them and say, now I need another thing, and now I need more budget from you. So it's not on here yet because I'm not ready to make the ask, but it's coming very soon. But I want them to know what we have done with the money they've given us.
Jim, I love that. I mean, I love that summary approach that you just did. I would just like to comment that I won't speak that all because I don't know all, but I will say that the community, whether it's North Bend, which I'm getting to know some of the businesses there better over time, certainly here, I don't know all the businesses here, but many of them, the ones that I can, from my perspective, see as sort of taking a leadership role, if you will. The cooperation is very strong right now, and I think you see that if you're just out and about. I mean, you just see it, and that you don't always get that in a lot of communities because businesses are competitive. Businesses are right. Pick the adjective. Right now, and I'll even speak to a recent experience real quickly. Is last night it was St. Patrick's Day. I have one Jupiter comment. It's interesting they picked St. Patrick's Day to have that meeting. The Saints and Scholars, what are they about? They're an Irish pub. St. Patrick's Day is their day. So we chose, from the brewery standpoint, to take a quieter approach, and we had bingo, which is a fairly calm, family-oriented, very, and what it did is it helped those who, I'm not going to Saints and Scholars where it's packed and really busy, and I'm coming, and we were packed. And I kind of anticipated we probably would be anyway. But point being is that that's their day, right? I mean, instead of No Boat Brewing doing our Irish moment, we're not an Irish brew pub. It's any more than if a Greek restaurant is celebrating some Greek event. It's like, go for it and be successful and have a great week, day, whatever that you're doing. But I think that type of collaboration is very strong around here. And it's not, I hate to say it, but it's not going to last forever. Grew up in small towns. You've heard me talk about Boulder and Bozeman in Montana. Things have changed there. But at the time, it really fostered who they are. And I think you're at a really rich time right now, I think, to be able to build that community. So it's just a comment.
If I could?
Yeah, sure.
100% agree, although with a slight difference. So Mayor Miller and I talk about this all the time. I talk about this with Kelly Coughlin at the chamber. Note that the chamber is not the Snoqualmie chamber. It's a chamber for the whole Upper Valley.
Sure.
I actually believe that our folks here are really, we've kind of maybe passed the tipping point of realizing that, look, we've had 100 years of competition between North Bend and Snoqualmie. And competition, by the way, there's a lot of competition that's really healthy and good. It sharpens the blade, or what do they say? Steel sharpens steel, something like that. I don't know. But then when when it's friendly, the kind of competition you just talked about, okay, those guys, this is their night. They're going to do the Irish thing. We'll do this other thing because we know there are folks that want to get out. And so just, I won't repeat what you said, but That's more and more the kind of thing that I think is going to cause us to succeed. And it's more and more the thinking I see in when I talk to business owners. So, and it's certainly what Mayor Miller and I talk about all the time is the sort of the days of, look, I don't want to be misunderstood or misquoted. Our job here is Snoqualmie, but I believe that doing the job of Snoqualmie means, frankly, doing the job of the Upper Valley, not competing with North Bend, but pulling together with North Bend. And I believe that's exactly what Miller believes as well. And so we're really focused on how do we, that's the direction to go, more and more together. Does that make sense?
It does, and I would only make one comment to that. It's not even really that material, but when I moved here, which was 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I heard Lower Valley, Upper Valley.
Mm.
Sure, I get it. You've got jurisdictions, kind of like, not to pick on the issue, but Jupiter's a county thing. I get it. You got lines at certain things. You got to be a little careful on Upper Valley versus Lower Valley when it comes to things that are in common. The river's in common, right? I'm very active with the Snoqualmie Preservation Valley Alliance. Mary, my wife and I, it's more personal than company. We contribute quite a bit of money to them. They're building, and I don't even know where they are on this project, but they're doing the water flow meters. That's all donated money. It'd be good to know the cities are in agreement with the value of that. So that's the only qualifier I would throw in there about, because I get it. You've got to focus. It's back to resources, right? It's like you got to focus on the areas that you're focused on, and I totally understand that. But that would be my added comment to that as well.
And I guess, Joelle, I think you have your hand up.
I just wanted to make a comment to Mayor Mayhew, that, it is, that I appreciate that the city is trying to get more staff on board. However, I'm speaking as a business owner right now, the amount of, participation with our city businesses and the amount of efforts that I have seen is just super exciting for this year. And I wanted to express my appreciation to Mayor Mayhew and the city for the work that has been done so far this year. And it has not gone unnoticed.
That's great.
All right, yeah. Mayor?
If I could just say, that's, by the way, I don't know if you're aware, I'm actually a huge supporter and participant in SVPA. So, they have their summer fundraiser event is just one of the most fun, I think, and events that we have in the whole valley. But you're dead right. When I say Upper Valley, of course, I'm contrasting it with saying Snoqualmie, North Bend.
Oh, I got you.
But you're exactly right. The fact is that a lot of people will come out, tourists, sorry, let me be clear. A lot of tourists will come out and they'll start an event in Carnation, say a concert, and then if we can attract them up, well, if Duval can attract them, fantastic. If we can attract them up to Snoqualmie or North Bend, also fantastic. So you're exactly right. The way we've got to sort of approach tourists is with like, here's all the things you can do, not here's a thing. And so, but you're dead right. It's not just Upper Valley. It's so I say that by contrast to North Bend versus Snoqualmie. It's North Bend with Snoqualmie. But you're right. It's actually the whole Snoqualmie Valley is where the focus is, and you're just, I couldn't agree more. And Joelle, just thanks for your comments. And as you
Joelle
heard,
just raised her hand again.
and as just to tell you is, and we're trying to lean in more to supporting that is kind of the message of the slide that was up. So thank you for your comments, and we're going to lean in more.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Joelle? I think that's a new hand raised, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Joelle, do you have another comment?
Oh, or did it come down or did it just disappear?
She still has her hand up. She took it down and then she put it back up.
Here we go. Or not.
All right. Well, I'm thinking maybe she had left it up or thought she was taking it down.
Maybe.
All
Can I
right,
just
well, we'll
make
catch
one
you.
quick thing
Yes, yes,
too?
Mona.
And I appreciate your sentiments, Mayor, but I also wanted to acknowledge Nicole because without all the special events that she's bringing in,
Yeah.
like I feel like her and I work really closely together throughout the year. And I also I need to acknowledge Ashley because she is really helping a ton right now with permits. So I appreciate both Nicole and Ashley, like as part of our team and our department.
Yes.
So.
You are all appreciated and thank you for building up the team over inside the city. And if there is, I think if that's something you want the Economic Development Commission to make recommendations for, to support these efforts more through the budget, if that's something that's needed, something we can certainly consider talking about.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, with that, we will
Can I,
adjourn. Thank you.
can I make one? Okay.